look at that. I pressed the button, which means we're streaming.
Are we streaming
live to YouTube?
Doing it live.
Finally.
Ugh.
Technology, it works sometimes.
Technology.
Sometimes.
Technology.
Okay, pop out the chat.
Pop out the chat. Pop it out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Do you understand the words
Coming out of my mouth, Dent?
that are coming out
Yes.
of my mouth?
Hello and welcome to episode 723 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Not bad. Survived the first week of kids being back to school.
Yay.
Everything's okay
All right.
so far.
Are they wearing masks? Not wearing masks?
They are wearing
what's
masks.
the guidelines?
So my youngest is a grade level low enough that they have to wear masks while they're on the school grounds and while they're in the halls, go to the bathroom, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when they're in classes, they don't have to wear their masks.
Gotcha.
My two oldest have to wear a mask literally from the second they get on the bus to the second they get off the bus.
How's that going for them?
They hate it.
That's a long time to wear.
But to be fair, they
Wear a
hate school.
mask, but-
So, you know,
Well, there you go. Yeah.
what are you going to do?
It's true. That's true. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Say you ain't got no rhyme, or you gonna lose big time. Cause I know MC ever survived the went up against Prime. You know what I'm saying?
Which
Transformers
parappa
thing?
is that?
That is a sweet centipede glass you're drinking out of there.
You like that?
That's pretty nice.
There it is.
Yeah.
Little glass of H2O out of there.
Mm.
I see.
Mhm.
I see. Very nice.
Now that is no.
What game
That's
is
not-
that from?
That was
Is
not
that from
from.
a game?
It's not from a game.
What is it from?
That is from
H2O?
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's from
It's
something
water,
'cause-
man.
H2O is from nature, man.
right.
You can't-
Right.
I know all your water comes in a plastic bottle.
You can't own water, man. It's like in the trees,
Nature,
man.
Yeah.
It's like in the sky, man. That is from beloved Adult Swim cartoon, The Brack Show.
There you go.
From The Brack Show. I was rewatching some Brack Show.
Excellent.
Recently.
That is a funny show.
That was from the rap battle episode.
Okay. I knew it was from something.
Yeah,
I
well, yeah, no,
recognized
it's
it.
definitely,
I
it was definitely.
recognized it.
No, I was not actually freestyling.
We were just freestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I know
Imagine that.
I know I tend to freestyle on this show quite
On this
frequently.
show, never.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, that was not me.
Okay. Well, hey, there was a lot of news last week, so let's just jump right into video game
I
talk.
Good,
love
because our What You Been
news.
Playing sucks.
Yeah, we'll do a very short what you've been playing, I think. But let's
Maybe
hop into
your
this.
what you've been playing sucks.
Well, that CJ said it was
okay.
going to be a short what you've been playing, so we're focusing on you.
That's right.
Okay. Geez, yeah, I'm looking at your guys as what you've been playing.
Don't look
Spoiler
at
alert,
it.
everyone. The
Nothing
only
younger than
game-
25 years old.
Don't look at it.
The only
look at
game
it.
on CJ's what you've been playing is Super Mario Brothers.
But it has a notation there in parentheses.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Finished.
Proudly declared.
Proudly
Have you-
finished.
You've certainly finished Super Mario Brothers in the past, right?
Of course I have. Yes.
Okay, but you
I
felt
have
the
finished
need.
Super Mario Brothers
But
in
you
the
felt
past.
the need to denote on our show structure here. Just so you guys know, I'm going to be talking about the ending. So if you guys haven't finished 8-4 yet,
Spoilers ahead. Yeah.
turns out that was the castle the princess was in.
Turns out. Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Sure was.
Anyway, what's our news?
Anyway, so Xbox Series S, it leaked last week.
Gross.
Last Monday was a holiday in the US and I think in Canada as well, right? It was Labor Day down here, holiday in Canada. Now I can't hear Greg.
Uh-oh. That fancy new microphone he got is apparently one use only.
Oh, it's doing the same thing it did before.
It's doing the same-
he's super quiet.
super quiet.
He's super quiet. Oh, Was the problem not the microphone? Was the problem his computer? Did we diagnose the wrong issue?
Turn it off and turn it back on again.
There it is. There it goes. I was having microphone problems before we started the show.
This is why we started late.
Why we're a little late, because I was having mic problems. Wow. It's the Player One curse.
Apparently.
Everyone who has ever appeared on the Player One podcast will die someday. It's the dreaded Player One curse.
Of course, now your recording's all messed up if you're unplugging the microphone.
You talking to Greg?
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking to Greg.
Talking to
Greg knows. Greg knows. He gave you a thumbs up. He knows.
He knows.
He knows. You don't have to thumbs up back at him. He can still hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a one-way
that's how this works
in terms of the audio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we cannot hear him. That is certain. But he can most assuredly hear us.
Right.
The stupid stink ball. Oh, see, maybe he can't hear us because otherwise he'd be shaking his fist in impotent rage right now.
You seem shocked when you said it.
Oh gosh, maybe I.
Okay, can you hear me?
Very, very quietly is the answer to that question, Greg.
Yeah.
That question for those watching live, which I can only imagine is steadily going down, was, can you hear me? Or some variant thereof.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I lied.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, but
How is
you're
it?
You're
using a different microphone.
Yeah, it's the webcam.
Yeah, it's like you're
like
you're
you're
in
far
a
away.
tin can. In a faraway tin can.
Better than nothing though. I guess.
All I know is
now I can't hear you again.
all I know is since this audio problem happened, our viewership has gone up at least 2 people.
Yeah.
If the little YouTube numbers to be believed. Oh my gosh. 3 people.
3.
We've got up 3 people. Maybe we should continue having audio problems so more people listen. Maybe the secret is shutting Greg up. Everyone, and by everyone I mean you two, are so quick to say Phil needs to shut up. Phil's the one no one wants to hear from, but as soon as Greg stops talking, suddenly 4 more people in our live stream.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I guess we're going with this with the webcam mic.
I guess we'll have to do that.
I am recording. No, I'm not. Jesus Christ.
do we got to start over?
Well,
We have to start the show over. Can you save your initial recording?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because if you expect
we
me
don't
to
have
bust
to-
out my sweet freestyle rap battle,
There we go.
second
Okay.
time.
That was
Audacity's
spontaneous.
picking this up now.
Okay.
It's going to sound like crap, but
That's okay.
you have actually. You know what? No, wait. Hang on. Give me one more option. One more option.
Okay.
Give me
One more option.
I have I have one better option here. Hang on.
He has a better option.
So this.
One more option.
There he goes. There he goes, and he's off. Greg's got a full-on gamer chair.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Jealous of that. I don't have a gamer chair. I have just
Is
a
this-
regular office chair.
He held up another microphone.
I did see that.
There he goes.
Is that the microphone?
Was that the busted one?
The microphone we replaced a week ago.
Luke, you have arrived to Greg's microphone going out on him again.
That's right. Well, yes.
Well,
Actually,
the issue
worse
may
than
not
it
be the
was
mic.
before. Worse than it was before.
Yeah, the issue we've
Actually.
discovered the issue was probably not Greg's microphone.
Yes.
It was probably some other issue. But now Greg has a theoretical spare mic just in case.
Heard something.
It's probably good that Greg has a spare mic because he's already lost his best friend to you. So,
Funny.
yeah.
Funny.
You laugh, but inside I know you're secretly saying,
But
yes,
it's true.
yes,
But it is
yes,
true.
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How about now?
Oh
Can
my
you hear me?
gosh.
Is that
Yeah.
better?
It's better than the webcam mic, sure.
Yeah. Well, I figured it
Say
would
say
be.
say some words here.
Some words here.
That's pretty good. That's a funny bit.
That's fine.
We're like a modern day Abbott and Costello.
Jackass.
It's better than the webcam.
I just don't know who's going to be the fat one.
Yeah, no, I guess we're both in the running for that.
It's Costello and Costello over here.
It's so true that it hurts. All right, there we go.
Oh boy.
All right. Hopefully
You're back.
Hopefully that'll work well enough.
Oh, that's nice.
It'll be fine.
There it is.
Are we going to start
clap
completely
again?
over again? Want to do a clap again?
I don't know that we can recreate the magic of the original intro. So maybe we should just continue.
Get to it.
Are we going to
Clap at the end? We'll clap at the end.
Oh, the nice thing about this is it's picking up all the noise in the room too.
Oh, is it?
Exactly. So you can't type on your keyboard.
I don't anyway. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
They have a squeaky
I know
chair,
Phil
so you're going
does.
to be dealing with that.
Yeah, I type sometimes.
Yeah.
But how else am I going to cheat in our after show games?
Good
I
point.
feel so
Yeah.
naked with nothing here in front, right here.
You're not speaking in front of
There
a
it is. There it is.
microphone.
Greg got about halfway through that sentence before he realized he was setting himself up. There it is.
All right. We're back.
Should we clap again?
We should
gonna
probably
do-
clap. Want to clap right now?
Let's clap.
I mean, you're clearly going to be editing
I
all
mean,
this
we're
stuff
completely
out.
off the rails anyway. So
Let's do a clap. All right, ready?
Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
There it is. There's another clap. 2 claps, one day.
All right, where the hell were we?
I don't know. Hey, you know what? Before we dive in, I know
It was a holiday. Yeah.
I know we're anxious to get into the news.
Yeah.
But how you breathing there, CJ?
Oh,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Talk
It's
about
it's a little tough.
Let
Let me tell you.
I'm looking out the window right now,
Yeah.
and it is like staring into an unflushed toilet. It is just a sickly brownish
Yesterday
yellow.
it was sepia tone.
Oh yeah. No, it's bad out here. And I mean,
it's not that bad today, right here.
Oh really? It's
Yeah,
bad
it's a
here.
little better. It's a
I mean,
little better today here.
it's theoretically better than yesterday in that the sky is not quite as
Yellow,
grotesque
orange,
looking,
brown,
looking.
Yeah, putrid. It's a good word for it.
But according to the numbers, it's
unhealthy.
It's really
breathe.
hovering around that.
Yeah,
really.
not as crazy as San Francisco with their orange haze.
Yeah, but that's not even going on there anymore, right?
Right.
I think San Francisco, Portland's getting it real bad right now.
Oh yeah.
Portland's got is real bad right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, this whole coastal region is you just can't go outside.
The East Coast is fine, just in case you were wondering.
Well, I figured it was.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody cares enough about the East Coast to burn it down, which I think is how this works.
Are
No,
there-
we preserve
just don't-
we preserve everything for hurricane damage. That's what
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
You just don't have gender reveal parties that end in fires.
Oh God.
You know what the worst part about that
What a
is
stupid reason for people to die.
is
Yeah.
I still don't know if that was a boy or a girl. I kept seeing the whole.
What color is the fire?
Yeah, it's the color of the smoke, right? That's the reveal.
So
why do
sepia
people
tone.
do that? Why do people do that? Anyway, I don't understand these
Guided
millennials.
showmanship.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about some video game news. Last week, of course, Monday was a holiday in the US and Canada. So it was a perfect time, of course, around like 10, 11 Pacific time to leak images of the Xbox Series S, which Brad Sams did. And then like overnight, all the rest of the details leaked. Well, Windows Central had price and date as well. So now then Microsoft acknowledged everything the day after, and now we know a lot more details about what's coming out in November from the Xbox side. Anyway, Xbox Series S has been officially announced. It's $299. Comes out on November 10th. The Series X is $499 and comes out also on November 10th.
So 300 and 500?
300 and 500.
300 and 500. And the difference between these two systems, I mean, the X is bigger.
The Series S is smaller. It only outputs in what? Doesn't output in 4K,
1440p,
right?
up to
1440p,
1440p, for
and it's
120
got
frames a
less
second.
storage, right? Like
It has
512
512 gigs of
Okay.
internal storage, no disk drive, so it's an
No
all
disk drive, that's
digital.
the
Again, it's all digital.
The old digital
console.
future.
Yeah, and it's 60% of the volume or the size of the Series X. So the
Okay.
video showing off the Series S, it like shifts inside of the it can fit inside the Series X housing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it's a lower resolution and lower frames per second.
No, same frames per second,
Same frames
lower
per
resolution.
Just lower resolution. Okay.
That's right, and it has the same SSD technology in there, the Velocity architecture, which is
That's super
glass
Saiyan.
processing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has a lot of the same features as the Series X, just at a lower resolution
Okay.
and less storage space. So
Okay.
but for $200 less.
That's a significant savings.
It is. Yeah. What do you guys think of this machine?
Well, I mean, it fits the whole philosophy of the sort of not generational so much, but like just the smaller steps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not weird. I mean, they did an arcade unit on the 360.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they've had these different versions of the Xbox One floating around, including like the digital only. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
For a lot of
consoles
people,
are going
though,
now.
for a lot of people, I think resolution, especially if you only have a 1080p TV,
Yeah.
or if you don't care about 4K
Right.
Yeah.
resolution, and you're budget conscious, although it's $200 less, but it's all digital. So you're going to be paying maybe a little more for the software. Although if you're getting
I mean, if you
Xbox
have
Game Pass,
plus Game Pass, that's a pretty good deal.
it's
No,
a pretty great deal. Yeah.
It seems like a smart move.
Especially because you're not sacrificing frames per second. You're not
Right.
sacrificing like the SSD speed or anything like that.
And how many, and I ask this knowing that you guys probably do not know the answer, but how many people actually own 4K TVs right now?
I have no idea.
And
what the
I
install base
don't
is.
know.
But they are getting cheap.
And
They are
of
getting
those
less
people
expensive,
who
yes.
own 4K TVs, how many people know what 4K means?
Right. Well,
4,000.
now it's about 2/3 of this podcast, right? Because Greg, you bought a 4K TV.
Yeah, specifically for these new consoles.
Yeah. But even a couple of years ago, like 4K, the standard wasn't, standardized amongst all of these televisions. Like even when the Xbox One S came out, I remember people who had quote unquote 4K televisions would hook the Xbox One S to it, and it has like it basically has like a resolution check boxes to see that everything is going to output in 4K. And a lot of people's 4K televisions did not check all the boxes. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, even within 4K, there's a lot of sort of leeway there. And the Series S, it will upscale to 4K. So very similar to how some games handled 4K resolution on like the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Doing some upscaling tricks and resolution tricks to get it to a higher res, but not like native 4K, which is what the Xbox Series X will do. But of course, you need a lot of horsepower to drive that, and that is expensive.
Well, horses require a lot of upkeep. I mean, it's mostly like the food and a place for them to live.
Right.
That you're paying for.
Uh-huh.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you probably don't have your own
Yeah.
stables. You have to rent
Board them,
stables. Yeah.
I know, right?
And I
know.
mean, then they eat a lot. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Microsoft followed this up with a couple other announcements, including that EA Play, which is the EA Access, used to be called EA Access, is becoming part of Game Pass Ultimate this holiday.
Hmm.
So you'll have EA's catalog of games to download and play if you are a member of Game Pass Ultimate.
I mean, it's just they're making it so attractive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could totally see people going just that route. I mean, if you're saving, I mean, they're going to get it back in subscription fees over a couple of years, the $200 savings. But
Right.
I mean, we've been saying that this is clearly what they've wanted to do for quite a while now, especially when
Yes.
they released the sad version of the Xbox One. So,
Right.
you know,
Yes, and of course they're doing the Xbox All Access installment plan at various retailers, and they've actually expanded the number of countries that this is available in. So you'll be able to pay $25 a month over 2 years and get the console and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for that
Sega did it first.
entire time, or you pay $35 a month and it's the Series X. So
Yeah, and didn't EB come out and say they're gonna do the same thing with PS5 in their stores?
yeah,
said they would-
GameStop
GameStop,
is
sorry.
doing some kind of separate installment plan. We have no
Are they
idea
really?
if Sony is doing their own thing. That's a possibility too.
Yeah.
But yeah, GameStop is doing its own sort of layaway / rent to own.
So if you do that through GameStop
Mm-hmm.
and you're spreading out your payments over the 2 years, what happens when
GameStop goes out of business.
goes out of business in a year? You
That's
just
a
get
good
half-
question.
You just get half that system for
I don't
free?
know what happened with
I
Sega
doubt
when
it.
that happened.
Yeah.
They didn't go out of business, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, the Xbox Series S, it actually got a lot of positive response just on Twitter.
I think it looks
What?
awful.
You think it looks awful?
Just
That
the
big-
just the
system
look of it.
design.
Yeah, just the design of it looks.
Well, both of those Xboxes look ugly.
I mean, the Series X looks functional.
It's a big
It's
black
a
box,
big
right?
black box.
Yeah, it's just like the
Exactly.
Xbox
Yeah.
One.
Okay.
Which I'm fine with. Sure.
And at least it's not gargantuan.
It needs to have more cutouts in the case with like glowing like
Yeah.
Definitely.
biohazard symbols and maybe like a glowing skull on it or something. Some big air vents with giant fans blowing in.
I mean, it does have a giant fan. It's the little thing at the
Yeah,
top
but is it
there.
lit up by like LEDs?
No.
Yeah,
not-
that's-
no,
Once
they-
Phil gets his hands on one, it will.
Yes, I'll be.
that'd be
modding
like
that.
pimp
they'd have to
that
increase
ride.
the MSRP by $100 if they were to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Sometimes that little extra expense is worth it.
You know, if Mad Cats or Razer
Uh-huh.
was making this, it would
Yeah.
be all glowy.
I need a little razzle dazzle in my system.
You need your LED lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. And we found out also that the Xbox Series S was apparently in the background.
Oh,
of
right,
Phil
right, right.
Spencer's camera during the Xbox Showcase event back in July. You can see it on his shelf.
Who
It's
would have
just,
thought that nondescript white box?
Yeah.
I know, right? If it was,
Weird. I
Any
thought that was
other-
like an external hard drive just
That was
sitting on his shelf.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nobody knew.
Whoop-de, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I think Xbox has a really interesting strategy going in at $299, which is
Yeah.
going to undercut the price of the PS5 definitely.
you
and
don't know that.
an untapped market. Well, what
They
what
haven't-
prices? What
Huh?
prices do you think the PS5 will come in at? Digital edition. and,
$249.99 for the disc version, $199 for digital only.
and you won't pay a
that's-
penny more.
That's a Phil lock.
$399 and $499.
I think $399 and $499 is
I suppose
much
that's
more
probably.
probable.
That's probably.
But even $399 and $499, that $100 difference between the Series S and the PS5 all digital is it's pretty compelling, especially when
don't-
you think about Game Pass
I don't think. I mean,
as a service.
the Game Pass, I think, is definitely a thing. Like, that is definitely important, but I don't know that people are going to be making the comparison between a Series S and a PlayStation 5 Digital, because the Series S is clearly already being marketed as like the down power system,
Right.
So I mean, I guess, but that's kind of yeah.
Well,
I
not down
don't think that's
power,
what'll happen.
Lower resolution really is
Down power.
is
It'll be treated
yeah.
as down power. It's,
Okay.
you know, like whatever you want to call it. But the point being is that it's not going to be able to output things at the same fidelity as whereas the PS5 digital version is literally the driveless version of the exact same console. So
right.
You know,
Do you think it's a big deal that $100 is going to separate the digital PS5 versus the disc drive Xbox Series X?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what it's going to be, if it comes to $399 and $499, I mean, that's a significant chunk of the price.
Yeah. It's pretty attractive. Would you go all digital if it was $100 difference?
Because I decided personally, I decided I'm going to go all digital starting this year.
Oh, is that
I
right?
hadn't bought a physical game in 2020, I don't think. One used one, but that was it. And if it wasn't for the backwards compatibility with PS4 and the fact that I still have a pretty decent size physical library for the PS4, I would definitely be going the digital version of the PS5.
Yeah. What about you, Phil?
$100 is just icing on the cake.
I don't know. I still like having the option to sell my games if I want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe not.
But what about the Series S? You do not have a 4K television.
I do not.
How does that play with you? Series S versus Series X?
I'd still want to get the Series X because I do plan on buying a new TV at some point.
Yeah, and you want to future-proof.
And I want to prevent my future from displaying at a lower resolution than
that would just be embarrassing.
Optimal. I mean,
I know that would be
what
embarrassing.
Am I a caveman?
Clearly not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh.
So no, I'd still go for I'd still go for the X
instead of
X marks the spot, CJ.
Okay, all right.
For action and excitement.
Oh.
Xbox Series X, ladies and gentlemen. Reserve yours today.
Well, September 22nd.
At GameStop.
September
Power
22nd.
to the players.
September 22nd is when pre-orders start.
I struck a deal with GameStop when you guys weren't looking.
Obviously. Yeah.
How hard do you think it's going to be to get a pre-order that'll actually be honored on the 10th?
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you planning on pre-ordering from? Like if the Microsoft store offers it and it's easy enough to get, I might just order one direct from them.
I don't know if we have a Microsoft store in Canada. I've never checked.
Yeah.
There's a Microsoft store down the street from me.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Microsoft headquarters?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I suppose, but there's also one. There's also one in the mall here.
You're just talking about Bill Gates' house? Do you just go to Billy G's?
I mean, he doesn't know.
You go to Phil Spencer's. You were like, hey, Phil, my name's also Phil.
What a coinky-dink.
Coincidence.
So anyway.
Games, and so do you.
So anyway.
My last name starts with a T. That's only one letter off. Yeah. Anyway.
Want to hear me do a Steve Ballmer impression? That'll get you chuckling.
There you go. Developers.
That's the one.
All right. Digital Foundry did a video on this Series S with their opinions on it. And it's kind of funny. They have footage of them talking about the Series S back in March when they visited Microsoft's campus in Redmond to check out the Series X.
Yeah.
Although they couldn't talk about the Series S at that time. They recorded a video on their impressions anyway and mixed it in with their new impressions. When they recorded that back in March, they did not realize that it would be on hold until September when they were able to talk about it. But anyway, I think the 2 SKU approach is an interesting one. I think people are budget conscious at this stage
Absolutely.
in 2020. I think
I
the
can't see
Series
why.
S has a very good shot at doing extremely well
I
this
think,
holiday.
and I don't know if it was always the plan for them to wait until now to
Right.
give those details, or God knows with everything that's happening with COVID what the actual plan was compared to what it is.
Right.
But I think it's really smart of them to have majorly separated the two. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Put major distance between the 2 announcements just to avoid confusion. Like, we're at the point now where we know what the Series X is. Everybody seems to know what that is, and they're anticipating it, right? So I think this was a great idea to wait so long to, if they had announced that at the exact same time that they started showcasing the Series X, and like the Digital Foundry video came out, I think it would have been more of like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on now? Like, and I think moving forward, they should keep marketing it very clearly as like, this is not the Series X. Like, it's, you know what I
Well,
mean?
they are, but they are very clearly marketing it as this is also a next generation machine.
Right. But it's
That's-
a sort of a smaller iteration to
Right.
the X.
Yeah.
So, and I think they'll
I
avoid
agree.
confusion. I mean, when you consider that the Xbox One launch was nothing but confusion, it's nice that they seem to have
Yeah.
learned that lesson.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. And then of course, PlayStation was quiet last week on the next gen front anyway, but they will be having a PS5 showcase event on Wednesday this upcoming week. So I assume that means we will find out price and launch date for the PS5.
They kind of have to now, don't they?
It's sort of their last chance before Xbox Series S and X pre-orders start. So
Right.
yeah, I guess we'll find out what their pricing is. Although I think a lot of people think $399, $499 is going to be the pricing there, right?
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense. But
And
anyway.
by the way, so what do you think of that? What do you think of that price for the X? Is that what you expected? Do you expect it to be higher, or?
I kind of expected it to be higher.
Yeah, me too.
Because of comments that Digital Foundry made in some of their videos, like just the power that the Series X and the PS5 are pushing out, that $499 wasn't going to be a realistic price point, but it seems it is.
Yeah, very, very pleasantly surprised. And then also up here, I think the price is $599, which actually means we're getting a little bit of a break. So I believe with the dollar, the value of the dollar right now, if you were just to convert it to Canadian dollars, it would be over 600. So yeah, pretty happy.
That's good.
I really expected it to be more. I really expected to be paying something closer to, $700 or $800 up here.
Right. So, well, I guess we'll find out what you'll be paying for the PS5 on Wednesday. So last week, Sony spent the entire week highlighting PlayStation VR titles, and there were a couple interesting announcements. One of which is that Minecraft is getting PSVR compatibility.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about that?
That's pretty neat.
That is neat.
I actually went on my PS4 last night because I had apparently purchased the PlayStation version of Minecraft at some point.
Yeah.
And I did not have it. I did, yeah, exactly. I didn't have it installed, but I did install it last night in anticipation of the upcoming upgrade.
Is everything on Minecraft? I know Xbox, Switch, and PC are kind of cross-platform. I think PS4 is now too, right?
Yeah, they weren't for a while.
They weren't for a long time.
Yeah, the Sony versions were their own separate beast for quite a while, but sure enough, when I reinstalled it last night, it brings up the, log into your Xbox account on here. So yes, it is now in sync with all the other versions of the game.
Cool.
Which is good.
Yeah. All right. So then we got some more interesting announcements that happened last week, including that the Scott Pilgrim game from Ubisoft is coming back
What?
to every platform pretty much this
Don't
holiday.
say.
Scott Pilgrim
Yeah, don't
versus the World.
say.
Yeah, we're in that
Phil's doing a
t-shirt.
strip tease.
Pretty much.
No.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's great news.
coming
I'm
out
excited.
on Switch, PS4, Xbox, PC, all the stuff in a version that includes the DLC from
DLC.
the previous versions.
Yes, indeed it does.
Yeah,
That's pretty great. I mean, it's nice that that's happening anyway, but it never really occurred to me because we were talking about Scott Pilgrim a few weeks back because it was the 10th anniversary and I had played it a little bit on Twitch, but it didn't really occur to me that movie it didn't do that well
No, it did not.
when it came out.
it was not a mega
And
hit.
it's just something, yeah, and that's something that didn't, because we've always had the discussion about it'd be great if they re-released the Scott Pilgrim game, but in my mind, it's like, well, but when it was new, it feels like that's when everybody would have been interested, and so we all had our chance. It still would be nice to have it again, but I felt like probably everybody who really wanted to play it probably did play it, but then looking back at it and thinking, well, wait, that movie didn't do very well when it came out, so tons of people discovered it probably even after the game wasn't available anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Why it took so long. Sucks that it had to take this long though.
Mm.
I'm excited though.
Yeah, me
Definitely
too.
the downside of the digital future, because if everything was still physical, there'd be tons of those discs out there.
That's true.
I'm hoping that limited run does something with this.
Wasn't there? Yeah.
And I mean, they've dropped little hints that suggest that they might be doing that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
But they do that a lot
well, I know that's the thing.
because they seem legitimately excited about everything they do. So
Right.
they constantly drop hints that they just signed something awesome, and then you sort of try to time that with an announcement that was made. And it's like, oh, this must be what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and not necessarily.
Right.
Of course, the Scott Pilgrim game announcement was at Ubisoft Forward.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other big announcements from there is that Immortals Phoenix Rising comes out on December 2nd. So this is the new name for Gods and Monsters. And it looks a heck of a lot like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, in a sort of Greek mythology setting, including like the shrines. There's very much a sort of, hey, there are these temples you go into and you solve these puzzles inside of them. So it looks like combat is kind of similar as well. And they had one puzzle in particular used a power that looked very much like magnesis from Breath of the Wild. So yeah. Anyway, that comes out on December 2nd. Very excited about it. If a game gets described as playing very much like Breath of the Wild, I'm interested in that. So
Yeah, I remember being interested when we first saw the teaser for this. Definitely would like to play that.
Yeah. Speaking of Zelda, we got an announcement last week of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity coming out on November 20th. This is basically like a Breath of the Wild prequel where you get to play the events of 100 years before Breath of the Wild. So you get kind of told what happened 100 years ago in Breath of the Wild, but now you're going to get to play what happened 100 years ago.
It's a Muso game?
It is a Muso title from Tecmo Koei is developing.
I think you mean Temco.
Right. This looks great, though. I mean, it looks like Breath of the Wild.
Yes, it does.
With Muso gameplay, which I am all into. I mean, Hyrule Warriors, the original, was very much a thing that I was into. Even though I'm not much of a Muso fan, but
I mean, you are.
But Hyrule Warriors,
you absolutely are
with a Zelda veneer on it.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm so down. Or a One Piece veneer. put that on.
See, you are a fan. You like
Or
you
a
like
Dragon
Musou
Quest,
games.
a Dragon
Exactly.
Quest veneer on it.
But once
Fine
they
with
start
that.
putting like Chinese people in it, suddenly you're not interested.
No, no, I've played some
Mhm.
Dynasty Warriors games, and they just
Yeah.
I prefer to play within the game worlds that I
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried to be like CJ, thinking that maybe the problem with the Musou games was that I just wasn't interested in the subject matter.
Yeah.
But no, I just don't like Musou.
Oh, there you go.
well,
See, at least Greg can be man enough to admit that he doesn't like something. You have to pretend you're like, no, I don't like him. But yeah,
I forget which one it was. That
if
I
it's
played,
Luffy
like
the monkey,
Dynasty-
then yeah.
Dynasty Warriors 9 on Xbox
Yeah.
One or something. I had that. It was like a Games with Gold download or something, and I tried playing it. I did not like it as much. Sorry to say. I did try. I tried.
Yeah.
Tried, Phil. I tried.
I enjoy the Dynasty Warriors. I enjoy the Samurai Warriors. I enjoy the Gundam Warriors. I don't know anything about Gundam.
Right. You just
You
like
know?
pressing X. A whole
I
bunch.
like hitting X a lot.
I hit the
Occasionally
button and I win.
hit A a lot. Hit X a little bit too. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll hit
yeah,
B
yeah.
every now and again to do something cool.
Of course. You got to charge
know?
up those powers.
Bunch of robots blow up.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Whatever. Whatever, man.
I mean, I bought the original Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, the 3DS,
Jesus.
and the Switch. So
There you go.
I'm more than ready for
there you go.
this sequel.
So this
sounds awesome.
is a prequel that takes
Yes, a
place
prequel to
100
Breath of the
years
Breath of the
prior
Wild. Yeah.
to the events of Breath of the Wild, but you can still play as Link.
Yes, because Link.
So
was,
Link is like 120 years
Link
old.
isn't
Yeah,
one person,
because-
I thought, right? Isn't that the whole point of Link?
Is that
They
the
put Link to sleep.
Oh, right.
Oh, is that what it
Remember?
is?
He had been sleeping for
Sorry.
100 years.
No, I don't. You know what? The only thing I remember about Breath of the Wild is that your swords break.
Yep. Same here.
They
There was a story in that game. I couldn't tell you what it was.
They put Link to sleep, but the 4 champions died during the war
Okay.
that occurs.
So Link
against Calamity Ganon.
So Link is old.
Calamity Ganon.
Link is old. Link
Link is old. Yeah.
To put it into terms you would understand, CJ, Link is kind of like Aang, the Avatar, who was asleep.
Right. Yeah,
For 100
exactly. That's
years.
what I'm
He
saying.
was asleep
Yes.
I
for
watched an
100
episode
years.
of Avatar this week.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Which one?
My youngest is very into it right now.
Oh, good.
So she's just like, Daddy, I really want you to watch this. And I think it's an episode she already saw that she really loved,
Okay.
which was when they were Aang was going to school in the fire tribe or with the fire tribe, and they ended
Oh.
up having a big dance party. The whole thing was that
Okay.
he taught the kids
Oh,
that it was
yeah,
okay
yeah.
to dance.
Oh man, that's from the final
was-
season. You
yeah.
dove
so,
into
I
the
mean,
final season. Yeah.
Well, I didn't dive in. She was watching
Yeah.
it. And
No. Yeah, that's yeah, the third season is the gang there are heroes. They've infiltrated the Fire Nation because the Fire Nation, they're the bad guys.
Yes.
They've infiltrated
Right.
the Fire Nation and they're trying to like covertly get to the Fire Lord to defeat him.
Hey, spoilers. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, it
Hyrule
was good. It was
Warriors.
good. I'd never seen that show before. And I
Yeah,
really
no,
enjoyed it.
it's really good. It's a really good show. It's a very good show.
Very excited about Hyrule Warriors coming out on the 20th. And
So
I pre-ordered my digital copy, and I get the little
look at you.
ladle weapon
Oh, good.
for that.
What?
Good. He
That's
gets
right.
a ladle.
Gets a ladle, and you get to beat people up with it.
And you
That's
get to
not
sing
what it was for.
the ladle song.
Ladle.
I made you out of clay. You know.
See, I was thinking more about that song from Busta Groove. I think it sounds like they're not actually saying dreidel, but it sure sounds like they're saying
It
dreidel.
does sound like that.
Which
You're
song
right.
is it? Which one?
I don't
remember
the
which
name of
one.
it.
Oh man.
But there's a constant background of a chorus singing something that sounds like the word dreidel,
Oh, okay.
just
You're
over and over
correct.
and over
You're
again.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That
I
was a
remember the one
great
where they're
game. I gotta
saying
bust that game out again.
That is a
Yeah,
great
I
it's
love
too
that.
bad. It's too bad. It's too
Yeah.
bad. You know, there was that
Yeah.
one. And then
All the music in that first one, I don't remember the music much from the second one, but the
Me
first
neither.
one
Yeah.
The first one's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good game. They're both really good games.
They're both good.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
have stronger memories of the first one.
Well, of course, because it was new at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
Link was alive back in ye olden days.
Link was alive. Yes.
They put him to sleep with presumably a
They
magic
put him
spell
to slumber. Yes.
in the hopes that he would wake up in the future to save the day, or what
yes.
was the?
Correct.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yes.
Did they foresee them failing in their goal, and he
Yep.
was their last best hope?
Yep. See, you
Right?
know the story then.
I'm right. I know this story because it is.
This is the
Boy,
story
it's a
about
generic story that's been done a million times. But
right.
But then
right,
the
right.
four heroes failed as
The champions failed.
champions
right?
failed as they foresaw.
And then their descendants are who you're tracking down in Breath of the Wild. That's right.
Okay. Well, now that
Yes.
makes sense. It's just a shame those mountains get so slippery when you try and climb them.
Right. I am very excited about this. We're getting more details apparently as part of Tecmo Koei presentation on the 26th. So
Okay.
yeah.
I will
But-
play this game because I like Muso games.
And
Okay.
I will sit here
Despite
silently
it-
while you guys talk about them.
Despite it being based on Breath of the Wild, I will still play it because I like Muso games.
Very-
So
very
for the
excited.
same reason CJ is going to play it, but opposite.
Yes.
I'm gonna play it because it's a sequel to Hyrule Warriors,
If
which
you-
I really enjoyed,
It's
and
a prequel
it's
to
more Zelda
Hyrule
stuff.
Warriors.
Hyrule
prequel.
Warriors.
It's a
great.
prequel.
Okay, prequel, whatever.
If you combine me and
It's a
CJ,
different timeline.
we
than Hyrule
legitimately
Warriors.
enjoy this game.
You legitimately cancel each other out.
Oh man, I
If we
wish.
combine the two of you, you'd both just disappear.
Boy, what a
Oof.
relief that would be.
Yeah. So Console Wars, you will remember the book from Blake J. Harris,
Book
published
about how Sega was awesome and Sega sucked.
a few
I
years ago.
only
Sucked.
I only
Shut up.
read books that make references to pop culture that I enjoyed when I was a youth in the 80s.
Me too.
Hey,
Me
Phil.
too.
Yeah,
Remember Transformers?
I do.
They were awesome.
Oh man, yeah.
I just wrote the first chapter of our book.
Did you ever see War
Excellent.
Games?
Oh man, War Games was great. Shall we play a game?
Man.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
I remember
It
that.
is.
There's chapter 2.
There it is.
Oh, boom.
I actually watched War Games probably about 2 months ago.
Never seen it.
Really?
You've never seen War Games?
I'll say this: it is
Wow.
actually
Hmm.
a very good movie. I mean,
yes.
I make fun of it, but I don't make fun of it. I make fun of the fact that there was a chapter in Ready Player One that was just, I'm going to rewrite a bunch of the script of War Games and have it be part of my story now.
Mhm.
Was there
But-
really? I did not know that.
Oh yeah. There's,
And I didn't. If that was in the movie, I didn't catch it at all. Because I've never seen War Games.
from what I understand, because I haven't seen the movie, but I understand is there
You
a
didn't miss
scene
anything.
in the movie where the main character ends up in The Shining and he has to like play along that he's in The Shining?
I'm pretty sure that's not in the movie.
Really?
But I've seen the movie once,
Okay, I heard
and I didn't like it
because there's one.
So
Well, yeah, of course you didn't. It's based on Ready Player One.
I don't really remember anything about it.
There's a part in the book, and it's one of the challenges, one of the puzzles, where the main character ends up in a recreation of the movie War Games, and he is Matthew Broderick's character. He's in that role, and in order to complete this challenge, he has to recite all of Matthew Broderick's dialogue using like the
No.
same
I'm almost positive that's not in the
blocking
movie.
and tone of voice and everything like that.
Wow.
And of course, because this kid in the future is an expert on Ernest Cline's favorite movies, he does so perfectly. But yeah, it ends up being, it's like, here's half a dozen pages of the book that is just the War Game script.
Right. No. I'm
Remember
pretty
this
sure it's
scene?
not in the movie.
And I had heard that they from what this is what I'd heard, as far as I'm remembering, that the War Games part was replaced with I'd heard The Shining. Maybe I am misremembering that, But
I mean, maybe it was. I don't know.
maybe it was.
I don't remember the movie.
Whatever the case is, I mean, Shining is good too. I
It's
enjoy
a
The
great
Shining.
movie.
Yes.
But War Games is really good. War Games is a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
fun.
one of those ones that I know I really should see, and I just have never ever.
And it's it's weird too watching it today because it is. I mean, that movie's what, 83? I think it's an 83 movie.
Yeah.
And it is so seeped in 1983 technology, and you would worry it's like,
Whopper.
yeah, oh, this is gonna feel cheesy and corny. And while the technology is obviously super dated, it feels more like a period piece now, as opposed to just like
right.
Yeah, it's
funny.
good though. It's still a solid suspense movie.
Yeah.
Do you
But
remember in the mid '90s when I forget what company got the rights to make video games about that movie? So there was a bunch of war games.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Video games released.
Yeah,
It was like
Yep.
it was like actually the late '90s, I think.
yeah.
I know
But
there's
yeah,
one.
it's like-
I think there's a PlayStation game and at least a PC game.
Yeah, there was a PlayStation game. Yeah, there was like a
Yeah.
real-time strategy or something like that.
I want to say the PC game was a real-time strategy game. I
Okay.
don't remember what the PlayStation game was.
Okay.
It probably was. But
Yeah,
I don't think they were the same game though.
yeah. But it's like if you watch like Lawnmower Man or Hackers these days, and you're just like, oh, this is corny and just bad.
What about
And you've-
Tron? Tron holds up.
Tron, I think Tron is so
Lawnmower Man is cheesy
because they spend
and
so much
bad.
time. Yeah, but Tron, because of the fact that they're using practical effects for
Yeah,
a
Right.
large part of it,
Yeah,
I feel like it stands up.
yeah.
I agree.
Although
You have to accept it. but
although
it
have you
stands up.
actually watched Tron lately?
I haven't.
Tron
No.
is boring as hell. That is
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, don't
Well, it's
say
like-
that.
But the
It's like-
visuals stand up.
Don't say
well,
that.
I mean, and the visuals are obviously terrible, but there's a charm to them because
That's what I mean.
it is all like
It's clearly people in
Suits
suits with
with-
really
with-
interesting lighting.
with tape
Yeah.
and it was hand painted, like all those
Yeah.
it was- all the like little circuitry and stuff on the suits was all hand painted. So there's charm to that, but the actual movie itself moves at such a glacial pace,
Yeah.
and it is, and like you remember like the light cycle scene
Well, it's just
is
so
fun.
Much, so much like
Yeah.
those special effects movies, especially when you started getting into CG or really intricate model work.
Yeah,
I find in like the late 70s, early 80s, a lot of those movies did move really slowly.
Yeah.
Almost because they had to show you the money. You know
oh
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
the first Star Trek film,
Oh man,
right? Which
forget
wasn't
it.
great anyway.
Oh,
Star Trek: The
But,
Motion
man,
Picture.
do you remember when they
slow.
when
The
they're flying to
reveal.
like the dry dock and they reveal the Enterprise and it feels like it goes on for half an hour.
Yeah,
And
here's
it's just
just
beauty shots and they look gorgeous.
and it's like, yeah, we get it. You made a
But it-
great model.
Yeah,
Your model
exactly.
is beautiful, but
Yeah. But it's like
Yeah.
let's-
certainly you're going to have a movie in here at some point.
well, anyway, Console Wars, the
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah, probably not
Half-hour
as
later.
good. Probably not as good as War Games, I bet.
Probably not as good as War Games, but it is finally coming out as part of CBS All Access in the US. I don't know about internationally,
God, I'm gonna see it, but
but it comes out later this month on All Access, which
so
is
then this is the documentary.
this is the documentary, right? This is not the dramatization, which apparently is still in development
But they're still-
somewhere.
Is that like the Seth Rogen thing?
Yeah, I don't
he
think they're
did that?
doing a movie anymore. I think the last I'd heard
think
they're
you're
doing
right.
a series somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
but this is the documentary that has interviews with the real people, including Howard Lincoln with a mustache, which is interesting. I don't know if you saw the trailer.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be good.
Very
good.
interested.
Cool.
And then wrapping up here, Apple revised their rules to quote unquote allow game streaming services to launch in the App Store, but it's really convoluted and it no one's actually going to do some of the things. The rules say basically, yeah, we'll allow Xbox Game Pass if each game is submitted separately to the App Store. Each game has to have a separate App Store page with complete metadata and description and all that stuff. Purchases in game have to be made through the App Store. even if you're like a member of the service, the games have to be downloadable onto your phone. So you're not using like the Game Pass app as a hub to stream. You'd have to download like a shell app for Master Chief Collection that would then stream. Like there's a whole bunch of hurdles that any streaming service would have to jump through that it just makes it untenable. Like nobody's going to actually do this. So yeah, it's disappointing to see this kind of thing. But I mean, Apple has tried with games like the App Store is one thing, but Apple really has never liked games. They're always an afterthought.
Weird.
The fact that games did well on the App Store and became like a huge moneymaker for them is almost by accident. Like it's not their own doing. So yeah, it's disappointing to see these rules go up, and which means basically that Xbox Game Pass and Stadia have no shot at getting on iOS, at least for a while.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's bad. Anyway, so I think we can move along to what you've been playing. This will be quick. Greg, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I didn't play much new or I mean, I'm still playing through like SD Snatcher and
Yes.
stuff like that. But what I did play, actually, there's something else I didn't put on the list. I
Gasp.
don't remember what it was. Anyway, one of the games that I started playing as part of my retro streams that I do weekly is Landstalker for the Genesis. Which is basically it's a game by Climax Entertainment, who it's the same group that did Shining in the Darkness on the Shining Force series, as well as Alundra.
Dark Savior
did Alundra and Dark Savior, Shining Wisdom as well. Anyway, this is a 3/4 perspective sort of Zelda action adventure RPG game. It's really, really nice. It's got a really nice look to it. If you've never played it or tried it, I highly recommend you check it out. Because the Climax had a very specific visual style, which I loved. It was one of the great things about their games, and it translates really well to this sort of pseudo 3D world in these characters. But of course, one of the biggest problems, and I played it for about 2 hours so far, and I've already hit one of these moments. It's 3/4 perspective. Nothing in the world has a shadow. So jumping puzzles. It's
no jumping puzzles. No.
Yeah.
Alundra had those as well, and I think
but Alundra
again
was
with no
overhead.
shading.
Yeah, but Alundra would have probably been a little bit easier because you didn't have the 3/4 perspective. It was sort of an overhead. It was more of a top down.
It was pseudo top down.
Yeah. So, but it sort of struck me as I was playing, because it's a really fun game. Like it's very enjoyable. But boy, is that something that, like the Sega Ages series is over now, unfortunately. But
yeah,
boy, is that something that could have really used just a little extra polish and come out as something like that. And I mean, it would have been as easy as somehow figuring out a way to just get these floating platforms to cast shadows, or to draw shadows, obviously, underneath them. But I mean, that being said, the part I got to wasn't like, the puzzle wasn't a required puzzle. It was sort of is an offshoot of the main path. And I think it's to get like an extra heart container or something, or whatever they call them in that game.
Right.
But yeah, it's a game that's I think it's been on a bunch of their collections at this point. And if you haven't tried it out, it's definitely worth trying. I'm going to keep playing it and keep playing and try to play through it. Although I don't know with those jumping puzzles, how patient I'll be with it. I'm trying to, and the other game that I played this week for the first time, I mean, I've had it forever. I've had it since it was a greatest hits release. And I think I've probably turned it on for like 20 minutes once or twice, but was Ape Escape for the PlayStation 1, which of course was the game that Sony released as part of the go buy a DualShock controller thing when they introduced the dual. I don't think it was just the dual analog. I think this was actually released when the DualShock controller was released. So the dual analog with vibration. And I mean, it's just this silly little 3D game where you get into these sort of Mario 64 styles, like little small platforming areas where there's a bunch of apes that are being mind controlled, hiding basically, and you have to chase them and catch them in your net. And the whole thing is like you get all these little gadgets as you go along. So like now you can use this to swim underwater and catch things underwater, and you can use this to do a double jump or things like that. And it was really, really good. Like it got tons of praise back in the day. I think EGM in particular loved that game.
Yeah.
And not that I never got it, but it never had any effect on me. I didn't really play it. Because that game came out like 99 or 98. It was a very late stage PlayStation release.
You are right about that. Yeah.
And I think I'd already moved on to like the Dreamcast at that point.
Yeah.
So I kind of never paid attention to it because I was too busy playing like Sonic and Soul Calibur and Sega Rally 2. So, but I did pick it up because it got such high praise. And I think it was while I was working at EGM that, or at least Expert Gamer, that it got its greatest hits release.
Yeah.
Which I think they were $20 when they were greatest hits games or something like that. They were cheap anyway. So it would have been something that I bought on a whim, probably when I went out to Best Buy with you one Thursday or something. Go buy every new DVD release.
We went on Tuesdays.
Sorry, Tuesdays.
Tuesdays were when DVDs came out,
right?
CDs.
And I probably, back when I was just spending money because I wanted to spend money, I probably saw it sitting on the shelf at $20. It's like, oh, everyone loved this game, I'll pick it up. And I don't think I ever seriously played it. So I seriously played it this week, and I really did enjoy it. It kind of feels like I don't know. It feels like a cross between like a Mario 64 and like a Mega Man Legends or something like that. Like it's got that kind of. It's a little bit hard to get a hold of because your left stick controls movement and your right stick controls whatever gadget you've got, whether it's like a radar or your weapon or your net. So camera control still on a shoulder button, which is hard to get a hold of. And jumping is on shoulder buttons as well. So it's kind of, and it also requires you to click in the analog sticks. Like they really went for the whole, every button on the controller is used in this game.
Right.
And then you even set hotkeys for your face buttons for your different gadgets. But it took like 20 minutes to get the hang of it. And the game really eases you in. And because it's such a late stage PlayStation 1 release, the 3D actually really holds up nicely. Very colorful. I mean, it still has that whole, like somebody on my chat called it out where they said like old PlayStation games always look like they're just barely hanging on. Like the world is, you know what I mean? Like the 3D world, like everything's so shaky and warpy and you see the seams everywhere and it just feels like the whole thing's going to fall apart in any second. And it still has that a little bit, but because it's such a late release, you don't get the warping and the seams aren't quite as bad as you sort of remember from old PlayStation games. So
which game is this?
Ape Escape.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the first time I ever really played it this week. So
nice.
I was just saying, it's I remember the game getting a ton of praise, and I kind of understand why now.
Right.
It's kind of awkward to play because we're so far removed from when it's over 20 years old at this point.
Right.
3D games have come such a long way, but it's still quite good. That's what I've been playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
nice.
Phil.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I have been playing Undermine. That game that everyone has been telling me.
But nothing is beneath me. I screwed that up.
You sure did.
I'm gonna check Facebook. You go ahead.
That game everyone has been telling me that I need to play.
That you should
Undermine.
play. Right. You finally played it.
I finally busted it open. I got it. I downloaded it via Game Pass.
Yeah.
On my Xbox One.
Okay.
And I was playing it. And that game. Fine. It's fine. Fine. I mean, it was free, on the Game Pass, so I can't. No, it's actually quite good.
Yeah,
it's really quite good. It's a fun little game.
It is. I like it.
It's
I like it. I do kind of wish there was a little more variance in how the rooms look. It's very brown. I mean, you are digging into. It's a mine.
You're underground. Yes, it's
You're underground.
You're going, and as you progress to the next stage, you're going deeper underground. So, if anything,
not to say that the game doesn't look good. I think it does look good. It's a lot of brown.
Yeah. You know what else has a lot of brown?
Oh, here we go.
What, Phil? What?
Your butt.
No.
Because of all
Not
the
as-
poo.
Not as bad as I expected.
Because of all the poo. CJ?
Right.
Because the poo is brown, man. You know what I'm getting at.
Phil knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
He's got the video to prove what it looks like up there.
What?
Hmm.
Oh, he's got his own
Not
video,
your butt.
right? Not mine. No.
As far as I know,
No.
They didn't
those
make
records are
cameras.
sealed.
They did not make cameras small enough back when I was living with CJ, or else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Undermine. You liked Undermine.
Is fun. Yeah, no, it's got a nice sense of progression. Yeah, it is a roguelite game.
So okay, back up.
Backing up.
I hear roguelite way more than roguelike anymore. What is
Rogue is
Is a game.
Rogue is a game. Rogue is an old game from ye olden days of video games.
Yep.
I believe the original Rogue was actually comprised of ASCII characters.
It was.
I believe you are correct.
You know where you could find that out?
Wikipedia.
Generation 16 episode.
Whatever, the Fatal Labyrinth episode.
I was going to say the Fatal Labyrinth episode. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No. So rogue like games are games that follow the play structure of
Rogue.
And key element of Rogue was that the dungeons changed every time you played. They were
randomly generated dungeons,
randomly generated on the fly.
Randomly placed.
If you died, it's permanent.
Yes. Randomly placed enemies, randomly placed items. When you die, it is a permanent death. You start completely over, but there is some sort of progression because you maintain some of the progress that you made. So
what's a roguelite?
Yeah.
Well, so roguelike with a K are games that follow that rogue structure. Games like Fatal Labyrinth, games like the Mystery Dungeon series.
Yep.
Games like
Toe Jam and Earl.
No. Because in a roguelike game, you have to have that one square movement, right? You move once.
Yes.
Like then
the enemies move once.
We were holding that close to
them.
Yes,
Rogue.
We're holding that close to it.
Yeah. What is it?
I think I understand now. Then
what was that? There was like a DS game, like the part-time ninja, like Izuka or something. Izuka. It was like, you were like a little like lady ninja, like a little anime lady ninja.
Roguelike games are games that play like Rogue. And then roguelite games are games that take some of the elements, but
that take that kind of progression style system where you go on a short run through some randomly generated stages. You are expected to die, but then you build up your character who then becomes stronger the next time around. So it's like, Rogue Legacy has that kind of progression, but attached to like a side-scrolling platformer.
Right. Gotcha.
Dead Cells is also kind of a platformer.
So that's a rogue light.
That is a rogue.
All right.
Light. Yes.
Light. Yeah. I kind of thought that's what it was, but I was just curious if I.
Undermine has that kind of game progression philosophy, but attached to kind of like a Zelda style.
Yeah.
Because all the dungeons and everything, they look like Zelda dungeons.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
So that's what this is, and it's really fun. And like I said, the sense of progression is good. You feel like you are making progress every time,
even if you're dying repeatedly.
Yeah, but you usually will earn enough coin, enough gold to upgrade your character a couple of times once you get back to your base before you go on your next run. It's really good. I wish I could play it with the D-pad.
Oh, another one.
Is this another one of those that's analog only?
unless there's an option in settings or something.
Oh no, I think you are right. It's analog only.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I'm not sure why either. Although I
Yeah.
assume you get some kind of power later that uses the D-pad.
Because right now it
Yeah.
really plays like a Zelda game, and
Yes.
in every dungeon that you go through,
yeah,
it feels like a Zelda, like an old 2D Zelda dungeon,
but with jumping.
but with jumping. But I mean, give me a rock's feather, I can jump in Zelda
Well,
too.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So I don't really see a reason to force the analog control on me, but I never feel quite as in control of my character as I would like to, because I'm being forced to use analog controls in what is functionally a 2D game.
Phil, I wonder if that's I wonder if you could change like the dead zone in the analog to fix
like
that.
more work than I'd be willing to do.
Right.
I don't know. It seems like that could be solved just by letting me use the D-pad and not have to
Or
fiddle
that.
around with analog
Or
stick
that.
dead zones.
Okay.
It sounds like the easier solution.
All right. I don't know. I
just
don't have a problem with it.
Turn
In fact,
on the D-pad.
I've played side scroller pixel games with the analog.
Yeah, no,
stick
that's
and
terrible
fine.
too. That
I
is
mean, yeah, I
absolutely
understand why
terrible.
people don't like it, but I occasionally will do it.
Ugh. Just ugh.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's really cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I will be playing it more and more
Cool.
as time goes by. The other thing I've been playing
Yes.
this week, and by me saying playing this week, I mean played for a bit last night, very late. I was, as we discussed on last week's show, delighted.
Oh,
Absolutely delighted to discover that my PlayStation VR can also function as a device that lets me watch 3D Blu-rays.
What do you have to do to get that to work? Because I've never
You may
gotten it to
recall this
work.
conversation,
I recall it.
and now you guys have frozen up.
No,
So I'm
you've
just gonna
frozen
sit
up.
here.
You've frozen up. We can still hear you.
Well, I guess we all froze up. Well,
No, that was you.
No, it was just you.
What did you have to do anything special to get that working? Because I've never gotten it to work.
I had to put the 3D Blu-ray into my PS4.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. No, you actually have to have the movie in the system for it to play. No,
But
that's
in all
not.
seriousness, I've never gotten it to work.
I don't understand how you cannot.
I don't know either.
I plugged in my PlayStation
Yep.
VR.
I get it.
As I do, I put the disc in.
Mhm.
I select the disc starts up,
Yep.
and it goes to the main menu, and the main menu's in 3D, and then I start playing the movie, and there's a 3D movie.
Doesn't work for me.
That's
It works just as well as this microphone right here.
Yikes.
No discernible reason why. Just doesn't work.
I didn't have to do anything special at all. I had to do was pop the movie in. I went through after our discussion last week. I went through my Blu-ray collection just to see how many 3D Blu-rays I've just inadvertently bought over the years. Just
How many of them were porn?
I mean, do you want a percentage or a number?
Whatever.
I mean, because they're both very high numbers.
Is it 69%?
What do you mean? He does not understand. Explain it.
As you would a child.
I do not have a 3D Galaxy Quest. Sadly, I don't
Oh
believe one
man,
exists.
that would be great.
I don't believe.
Did I mention I watched that documentary on Amazon Prime? Finally,
Oh, that's
did you?
great. It's great.
Yeah,
Very
I've
sad.
watched-
Very sad near the end, but
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
really?
Yeah.
well, when they
I-
talk about Alan Rickman.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, of course. But
Great
yeah,
documentary.
I
Anyway.
have like a little over a dozen 3D Blu-rays that I've just you get them in multi-packs or whatever.
Multipass.
I don't have a 3D Fifth Element.
I wonder if there is one.
I don't know if one exists. I didn't actually really like Fifth Element that much.
What? Oh,
You know what? I didn't like it at first, and then I ended
Yeah.
up watching it again, and I totally fell in love with it.
I don't
Really?
like Starship Troopers.
Starship
did we talk
Troopers is
about that?
garbage.
Starship Troopers
That's
is
a terrible movie.
That's really weird because Starship Troopers
Oh,
is
I hated it.
amazing.
I hated
Terrible
it.
movie.
How
I
do you
hated that movie.
what?
Oh God,
I think part of it.
First time I saw it
Like
I
I'm living
think
in a
part of it
cuckoo
is-
clock here. How do you not like Starship Troopers?
because
I
it's
think
terrible.
part of it. I think part of it is they marketed it as a summer blockbuster action movie when in
Yeah, no,
actuality it's a Paul Verhoeven satire.
Yes,
No,
it
but
absolutely is.
I went into it knowing that it was a Paul Verhoeven satire, and I thought it was terrible.
That's weird
Oh.
because it's good. It's
I have
really
not watched
good.
it since seeing it in the theater, and I hated it.
You know what was
That's
wrong with
weird.
it? You know what was wrong with it?
Nothing.
Everybody but
Everything?
Neil Patrick Harris sucked.
What? What? What?
Michael Ironsides was okay too, but the casting was terrible otherwise.
It was
Oh,
terrible.
man.
It was
No.
terrible.
No, Starship Troopers is
No.
great.
No,
It is
not.
great.
No,
It is great.
Disagree.
Like for Starship Troopers is great. Retweet for Starship Troopers is terrible.
We can all
Everyone.
agree that Ready
Starship
Player
Troopers.
One sucked.
Well, of course.
Let's go back to our common ground.
Yeah.
Let's remember we have the common ground here.
Yeah, no, that's true. But no, I have
3D Blu-ray.
I have a little over a dozen.
Which one did you watch?
Well, what the first one I popped in should be no surprise is the Lego Movie.
Uh-huh.
I have
course.
Okay.
I have the Lego Movie 3D. Just again happened to be in one of the box sets.
Yeah.
That I have. I have a couple of the Marvel movies.
Yep.
In 3D again, just like the first two Avengers movies. The 3D Blu-rays were included. The last two Captain America movies, the Winter Soldier and Civil War. I have those in 3D, which is nice. And yeah, just like I said, a handful of other movies.
You know
And
what would look amazing in 3D?
Was that?
Waterworld.
Then it would also you'd also be watching what? Okay, so
Water. Would Ishtar also be good in 3D?
No, but you know
I'm-
why?
I'm
Not
just
because
like-
it's a bad movie. No, I'm not.
boy,
I'm not arguing
Starship
it's not a bad
Troopers
movie.
sucks.
No,
But you
you're
should
not-
really be
you're
watching
equating You're
Waterworld.
equating the fact that just because I brought up a movie doesn't mean I think it's a good movie.
Oh, goodness
I mean, you brought up
gracious.
Starship Troopers, so
Yeah, it's a great movie.
no, but because I've always found that the 3D effect for some reason is really effective when you've got like a large body of water in the scene. It's just
Yeah.
something about it. It's the depth.
Yeah.
But seriously, I think it would be amazing. In
What
3D.
about the
I'm-
Abyss?
Well, you're underwater for most of that, so that's a little different.
That would require the Abyss to get some sort of re-release. which
That's
is never going
true.
to
That's
happen.
Also
true. I
isn't
have
gonna
not-
happen.
I
have
am
not seen the
delighted.
Abyss in quite a while.
The
I'm
Abyss is
delighted,
quite
by
a
the
while.
way, to see that our YouTube chat agrees with me about Starship
Two people
Troopers.
in the YouTube chat agree. with
Two
me.
That's-
people.
You know what? Those are the only two people that
That's
matter.
not even 10%.
That's the only two people that matter, if you ask me.
Are we saying we like the Abyss?
I loved the Abyss.
I haven't seen the Abyss in forever, so
Have you seen the director's cut though? Because
I've seen the
director's
director's
cut is
cut, yeah.
fantastic.
I'm
It
sure
is
it's great.
great.
I remember liking it back in the day.
Yeah.
Although I've forgotten quite a bit about it.
Yeah.
But
It's awesome.
I seem to remember Chris Elliott in it.
In the Abyss?
I
What?
think.
I don't think so.
I think you're
I think
misremembering.
you're
that.
mistaken. Chris Elliott.
Chris
In the
Elliott.
Abyss? No.
Wait, what? I'm trying to think who. I can't even think who Chris Elliott is.
Chris Elliott
Is
is
he the guy in Something About Mary?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was in the Abyss. Yeah.
Was he?
Yep.
Oh.
Not a main character.
right.
No, not a main character.
But
right?
yeah, the guy from
He
like
was one of the guys up on
Schitt's
the
Creek.
Benthic Explorer, which was like
he was a
his
Get a
support ship.
Life. That was his
Yep.
TV show.
yeah. Okay.
He was
okay.
like the cameraman in Groundhog Day. And CJ doubted me.
Another movie I've never
I
seen.
apparently
Groundhog
did.
Day.
Sorry, I have something in my eye. There you
shouldn't-
go.
you shouldn't rub
There
it
you
with
go,
that finger.
CJ. There
Yeah.
you go. Wait, what haven't you
Thank
seen,
you.
Greg?
Groundhog Day.
Really?
What?
Oh, I feel like I've seen that movie about 1,000 times.
Oh. We're
Groundhog
gonna
Day
have
is
to do
good.
some kind of watch party on
You should
Twitch.
watch Groundhog Day.
Hey, you know what you can do? Watch
watch-
Twitch as long because I did this last week. As
Yeah.
long as it's on Prime Video
Yeah.
and the people watching have Prime Video,
Okay.
There you go.
We should
so
do
that
that
really
with.
cut down my audience.
Man.
Oops.
Well,
and
all right.
it has to be available in that person's region as well.
ah. Well, I'm from
Gosh.
Buenos Aires, and
Anyway,
I say
so-
kill them all.
You watched the Lego movie in 3D.
So I watched. I
Really
didn't
gotten
watch.
off
I didn't
track.
watch the
Listen,
Lego
we have
movie.
taken so many tangents.
I didn't. I watched. I watched part of the Lego movie in 3D because
Okay.
it turns out that when you watch a movie in 3D on the PlayStation VR,
No one else can watch it.
only you can watch. Yeah, the TV
Oh.
displays
Nothing?
nothing. The TV displays a blank image. It doesn't play
Oh.
like the 2D version of the movie. It doesn't even show you, like when you play a VR game,
Yeah.
you know, the TV displays whatever you're looking at.
Sure.
It doesn't do any of that. It just, there's nothing. So if you want to watch a 3D movie in PlayStation VR, I hope you live alone.
So I have a question about
Yes.
this. So like if you can watch a regular movie in the VR headset too, and it's like called big screen mode or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
I found that that's a problem because of the general drift issue that I find is difficult to fix on a PlayStation VR.
I
Watching a
had,
movie in 3D. Is it like you're looking at a giant screen as well, or is it more?
I only had that problem when I was watching the Fast and the Furious movies. I would get a lot
Wow.
of drifting.
Did you hear they're sending Toretto into space in the new Fast and Furious movie?
I like that CJ legitimately thought that was hilarious because he's fallen over in his
So
damn
terrible.
seat. CJ really
that was
liked that
coming.
one.
I knew that was coming as
You
soon as he
really-
said General Drift. I thought it was either going to be some kind of army joke or Fast and the Furious. Just waiting for which one it was going to be.
Jesus Christ.
Is General Drift the sequel to General Chaos on the Genesis?
Yeah, it's a racing game though. I did not have any drifting problems. I've also not watched a standard movie in the VR headset. So I
don't. It's not worth it.
okay, I won't. The resolution, you know, it's you know, you're watching these 3D movies and you're not seeing them in like super HD,
Right.
you know. But it's, you know, the novelty the novelty of the 3D is kind of offsetting that for me, at least for the moment. But yeah, so I watched that, and then a listener goes by the hacker alias Mullins JC, or Mullen SJC. I don't know, but he's a local fellow. He lives up here. And he reached out to me on Twitter and said, "Hey, my dude, I'm getting rid of a bunch of my physical Blu-ray library, and I have a bunch of 3D Blu-rays that I was just gonna, you know, donate or something. Would you like them?" And I was like, "Holy!" And he sent them to me. It was very,
Wow,
very
all right.
kind, and it was very nice. And there's like you know, he sent like Jurassic Park in 3D and
that'd be
Pacific
watched that the other
Rim
night.
in 3D, and I love Pacific Rim.
Mm.
My goodness, you know. So, and the recent Godzilla movie
Man,
that I know a lot of people didn't like, but I
that
enjoyed.
group of movies could not have been more perfect for you.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, he sent over you know, maybe eight or 10 different movies.
It's awfully
It
generous.
was very, very nice. And then of course, because I'm an idiot, I was just like, oh, I bet I'm gonna buy me some more. So I bought the Lego Movie 2.
Okay.
And that showed up the other day. And I bought Detective Pikachu in 3D.
Also, I've never seen Lego
in
Movie
3D.
2.
Oh, really?
No.
I like Lego Movie 2. People kind of poo-poo Lego Movie 2 for not being as good as Lego Movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good. I still liked it. It's not as legitimately like, wow, this is surprisingly good
Right.
like the Lego Movie is, but it's still a fun movie. But yeah, so I was messing around with the 3D movies, and then I was like, yeah, I wonder what's going on in the actual world of 3D or VR gaming
Okay.
on the PlayStation. So I loaded up the PlayStation Store, the P Shop, I think they call it.
PSN store, correct.
The P The P Shop.
PSN.
The P Shop. And a new game came out. Well, it's not a new game. It's an old game that has just come out for PlayStation VR. It's the Star Wars game that came out, I don't know, what, a year
Oculus
ago?
Quest. Yeah.
Yeah, for the Oculus. Star Wars Vader Immortal.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, Vader Immortal, the kind of Star Warsy game where you are not Vader. I knew nothing about this game other than it was the game that came out for the Oculus.
Okay.
And just from the title, I figured, oh, are you Darth Vader in this game? But at least you're not. You're not. You're some random Star Wars person. But yeah, it's a 3-episode game. All episodes are up for PSVR. It's like $30 for the whole McGillicuddy. And yeah, I played through a bit of the first episode last night. I had to stop myself because I had started very late and I didn't want to be up till like 4 a.m. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a, it's seems more like one of those VR experiences, where
Sure.
you're just kind of going through, it's not like Astrobot or something.
Better
where
or
there's,
worse
like,
than The
a
Void?
game. Well, I mean, The Void,
The Void was fun.
The Void was fun because you're actually walking through rooms and
Yeah, that was fun.
you're like sitting down on benches that are
That was freaky.
skinned to
Yeah.
look all Star Warsy. For those who don't know what CJ is talking about, when we went to Scoop Fest, was that the one?
It was the last one we went to,
Was it the last one?
Yes.
Okay. Which was not.
where I kept posting pictures, and I think it was Mike Phillips who said, "You guys look like you're just on an extended date."
Yes.
An entire
I mean,
trip.
which we
wasn't
obviously
wrong.
Not
we
untrue.
were, certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Void is kind of a VR center. It's in.
Well, they have a couple of them.
Yeah,
in
there's
a
various
few
shopping
franchises.
malls.
Yeah, it's like a mall
And
kind of thing.
There's one in Vegas, and we did
Yeah.
the Void in Vegas.
I forget
but
which. Do you remember which? The
The
Venetian.
Venetian.
It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Venetian, yeah. And they have different scenarios. They have different little experiences, and they
I
kind
wa-
of cycle through.
I want to do the Ghostbusters one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
the Ghostbusters one.
Missed
Yeah.
out on doing that. I did.
But I mean,
I did
yeah.
the Star Wars one twice.
Oh, did
Once
you
with
really?
You guys and one another time.
Like the family or something? Or?
Oh yeah, because CJ goes to Vegas
Yeah.
like 3 times a
Oh
year.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
Was
yeah,
it with
like
your
you
family?
wear
You did that one?
you wear
No,
a
it was
you wear
not.
a helmet and a vest,
Yes.
and you're walking through a series of rooms that have
Yeah.
physical objects that you can see but also pick up and touch, and
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
it's very cool.
Yeah. So like, yeah, at one point, because we played the Star Wars one, and we were like, the premise was like we were like rebel spies or something, infiltrating an Imperial base, and yeah, at one point there's like a gun locker on the wall. It's like, oh, one of the NPCs is
course,
like, go
being video
grab a
game
blaster.
nerds. Yeah, and being video game nerds in lots of VR games already, where you reach out and grab something, you don't expect to actually touch anything. You
Yeah.
just reach out and squeeze a button, and your hand grabbed it.
Yeah. But this one, you actually grab like a little prop gun.
Yeah.
But then when you look at it, the helmet is putting a
Yeah.
skin of like a stormtrooper blaster over it, which
Yeah.
It's awesome.
it's neat. And then you're actually
pretty well.
you're walking around from room to rooms, and
And there's that one point where you have to cross this tiny little bridge
oh yeah,
over
And it's-
lava. That
Yeah.
was harrowing.
And the
Well,
room-
yeah, and they have the heat vents coming up.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's great.
And there's like, I think
lot
they're
of
like
fun.
kind of blowing like a little mist at you and stuff like that.
Of course, VR at
really
home
cool.
is not going to be as impressive as that. But,
VR at home, not quite as cool, not quite as immersive. But
I am
it's-
really looking forward to whatever the next. I think when whatever gets announced next in terms of consumer VR is where I'll jump in.
Yeah.
finally.
But this seems pretty cool so far. You start off, you're like a smuggler, I guess.
Hmm.
If you're not the way Star Wars works, if you're not a Jedi or an Imperial officer, you're a smuggler. I guess bounty hunter. You could be one of 4 things in the Star Wars universe. And so you are a smuggler
Moisture farmer.
That's
flying
exactly
around.
what I was going to say.
I'm enjoying some moisture farmed water right now.
There you go.
Homegrown. But yeah, you get you have a sassy droid as your co-pilot.
Naturally.
And she does all the, because your character for a kind of first person experience through the Star Wars universe, your character seems oddly quiet when a bunch of crazy stuff is happening to them.
Yeah.
And I guess they didn't want to record voices for your character to be reacting to stuff, which seems,
that makes sense though.
like, I mean, I guess, but also like you end up getting captured by the Empire. That's the start of the game. You're flying your ship. Ooh, we're smuggling, and then all of a sudden you get pulled out of hyperspace, and then there's TIE fighters flying all around you, and you're like, oh crap, and you look up and there's a windshield on the top of your ship, and you can see a big Star Destroyer coming in, and you're like, oh crap, we're in trouble, and they drag you down to the planet of Mustafar, which, if you are a prequel fan, and who isn't, you will remember Mustafar as the fire lava planet where Anakin and Obi-Wan had their climatic battle for the ages to win the heart of Padme. And that's where you go, and you're at Darth Vader's castle. And they put, he has a
Castle?
He has a castle there
I remember
now.
hearing about this.
Okay.
After getting all his limbs chopped off on this planet and being left for dead, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna build a house here.
This
And
place is beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna have a big lava fall out the front of it, which it absolutely does. It's gonna have hangars
You
full of
gotta have a lava
stormtroopers.
fall.
I mean, if you're on a lava planet,
Well,
and
of course.
and you I don't know if he designed the
If you don't have a lava fall, what are your neighbors going to think of you?
all those weird fire monsters that live on this planet.
He's
They
not
would
rich enough to live here.
look at me in shame. I don't know if Vader designed it himself or if there's some sort of like imperial architects that they have on retainer. But they pull you into Vader's castle, and you're kind of locked up. And then an Imperial officer comes in and starts yelling at you. And then Darth Vader himself comes in, and that's all very dramatically framed. And Darth Vader comes right up to you, and he's like, yo, you are going to do things for me, buddy. And you're, I mean, that's not the exact script.
Is that the line?
Listen, bucko. Have I got to
do some stuff?
I got things for you to do, my dude.
Okay.
But your character, is shockingly silent, as Vader is shoving his finger in your face and getting all up in your proverbial grill.
Uh-huh.
But so your robot buddy is there, and she's the one kind of just having all the reactions that you are not allowed to have. Oh my goodness, Darth Vader is here, I would say.
No, that's not what.
So I'm paraphrasing. That's right, robot friend, I am here.
Suddenly I want like a Spaceballs equivalent to Vader Immortal. That would do some of this stuff. That'd be great.
Dark helmet immortal kind of thing.
Yeah, Dark Helmet Immortal.
No.
I'd buy that.
Yeah. Maybe you can talk Rick Moranis out of retirement to.
Well, he was in that commercial this week.
Oh, that's
he is
true.
shilling cell phone networks. So.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's a Canadian thing.
Yeah, I guess that's But it seems pretty cool. I'm joking about it, but it seems pretty cool. Eventually, of course, you escape, and
Yes.
and again, I don't know. I don't know if there's some sort of Star Wars canon mythology about Darth Vader's lava castle that he has on the fire planet, but at one point you're escaping and you go into a room, and it's this giant cavernous chamber, and there are some doors off to the side that you escape out onto a ledge, but in this giant cavern that is open, there's open ceilings, you can see out into the smoke and everything. But right in the center of this room, like framed by like a spotlights, there's a little pedestal. It's just a big barren chamber with a little pedestal sticking up, exposed to the elements. And you go up to it, and there's just like a little lightsaber, just delicately sitting on this little pedestal.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's not Darth Vader's light. That's not like his lightsaber storage patio. It's just some random lightsaber, and you pick it up and you turn it on, and then a little training droid pops out of the ground and is like, "Oh, I'm going to fight you now." And then you learn how to use a lightsaber. And I will say, using that, because this uses the Move controllers with the little glowy ping pong balls on the end. Using a lightsaber with one of those feels really neat. It really
like Beat Saber. You should play Beat Saber.
Yes, it is exactly like Beat Saber, except now you're killing Star Wars droids as opposed to arrow blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Which please don't think that I am disparaging Beat Saber, because Beat Saber is fantastic. But when you got Star Wars music playing and there's little training hover droids shooting at you and you're reflecting the bolts back, it's pretty neat.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm having some fun with that. So I turned it off because it was getting late. But
I see.
I'm glad that's out on a system that I own now, so I can, because I do enjoy a good Star Wars story in video game form, even if it's maybe especially because it's cheesy. So I'm looking forward to playing more of that. I mean, it's not Super Mario Brothers parenthetical finished.
Yeah.
But
so
let's talk about that for about 90 seconds. So
I know.
Tweet's done and go.
I know. No kidding. I know. So y'all said I didn't play enough Super Mario Brothers last week when I said I got to the end of World 1-2. So this week I just finished the game. I went through all the worlds after the warp zone. So after 4-1, all the way through to 8-4, and saved the princess. She was not in another castle at the very end there. And finished the game on Mario All-Stars. So
nice.
Yeah. Now I gotta do Super Mario Brothers 2.
You mean Lost
Move
Levels?
on to that. I don't know that I'm gonna play the Lost Levels.
I played enough Lost Levels last week.
I don't. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about Lost Levels.
I'm really excited for 3D All Stars. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to that. Replaying Mario 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine, because I never really played a whole lot of Sunshine or Galaxy. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. Yes,
excellent.
And then Sea of Thieves had an update last week introducing a new voyage type where you hunt down gold vault key, and then you open it up, and you have 3 minutes to grab as much gold as you can out of this vault, which is pretty cool addition to the game. They've done a lot with adding like boss fights and sort of bullet sponge encounters with enemies. It was nice that they added something that's more like an extra reward to the game. Just grabbing loot. Of course, you can steal that stuff too from other people who are doing that particular voyage.
That seems dishonest, though. It
does seem a little dishonest, but hey, it's a pirate game. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy.
Okay, man.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Anyway, still enjoying it, of course. And they introduced dogs to the game as well, so you can have a dog as a pet now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's all I've been playing. So let's get on to tweets.
Tweet. A tweet. A tweet. Tweet.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Insipid Ghost, who says, How likely is it that Microsoft is able to narrow down who leaked information to the reporters? I know we often lament leaks. I'm curious if companies are ever able to address them legally and with firings. Ooh.
Hmm.
Who knows?
This is probably going to be a difficult one, right? Because, I mean, Mike, first of all, the existence of a Lockhart as a different SKU of the Xbox Series X has been known for like over a year, right? So people know sort of what to look for. And when they announced the Series X, I'm sure people thought, oh, maybe they're doing Lockhart since it's described in this technical document or whatever. Maybe they'll do that as a Series S. So it wasn't like people didn't know what to look for. And I'm sure, being a big company with a lot of people that need this information, it makes it a little harder to keep things secret. When companies like Nintendo have like a Hyrule Warriors game that remains a secret that is suddenly announced and we all go, oh my gosh. Exactly in that fashion, by the way. Can you please just say, oh my gosh, in exactly that fashion, please? That'd be great. Say, oh my gosh. Go ahead.
You're asking us to do
I'm
this.
asking you to do it.
Okay. No, you're turning this
Say,
into a bit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, if editors have access to like an FTP drive that they got an asset from like 2 years ago, are they not going to check that for?
Or it was leaked on purpose.
Stray? I don't think this one was leaked on purpose. I don't think so. Although it certainly worked out for them because the response to the Series S has been very positive. But I don't think this was an accident. I don't think that I don't think intentional leaks happen often, if ever. So that's what I'm saying.
Wait, didn't you write Quarterman? Isn't half the stuff that was in Quarterman an intentional leak? The stuff you didn't make up?
No comment. Yeah. Actually, occasionally companies PR people would say, yes. Hey, can you put this in Quarterman?
Yes,
that did happen.
That's what I'm saying.
That did happen.
You just sat there and said that doesn't happen.
I don't think that happens much anymore.
Okay.
No. No. Anyway, do you think do you see Microsoft going after Brad Sams or Windows Central for the leaks? No. I don't think they're going to be able to track down where they got that information, and it could be anyone.
Not to mention it would just be bad PR, I think.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. Hacker alias Big as Jimmy says, how do you feel about Breath of the Wild 2 reusing the map of the first game? So obviously this has not really been announced. They're going to reuse the map. Right? But how would we feel if they reused the map of the first game?
The map is not what needed fixing in the first game.
Should I even ask what needed fixing?
I don't. I mean,
destructible weapons.
Yeah, that's what needed fixing. I don't think that. I don't think I care too much about the map being reused because it was such sort of a big sprawling. It's not like. It's not like
they couldn't change the terrain anyway.
That's
right?
it exactly. Like it's not like to me like it's not like the old school. Well, I was going to say overhead, but even the 3D ones where like sort of they're very specific themes in certain parts of the world, you know what I mean? Like that didn't really feel that way. I mean, I guess it did have that in a way, but it just didn't feel that way to me. It just felt like this sort of vast expanse for the most part. So I don't think it really matters. And like you said, because it's all 3D, they can change it up just via textures and things like that.
Sure, it might be the same general Hyrule, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be exactly the same.
And I could be completely wrong about what I just said, but I don't remember the game well enough yeah.
Well, I think people have taken apart the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity footage, and that apparently is using the same map as Breath of the Wild, but of course dividing it into mini areas to sort of go along with the Hyrule Warriors Musou gameplay.
Isn't that big a deal?
No.
because it's a completely different gameplay type. So,
And it's actually kind of cool to look at locations how they looked 100 years prior to Breath of the Wild.
sure.
Yeah, but I'm okay with them reusing the map. Sure,
I really hope in that game your weapon explodes after every 5 hits,
it's not going to. It's not going
just so
to.
I can hear you tell me why it's a good idea.
There you go.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Earthbound G-Man, who says, what games have been the biggest surprise and disappointment for you so far this year?
That's tough.
Paper Mario, maybe?
I
Being a surprise?
Nah, I mean, I don't know.
It was
I
better than
expected
I-
that to be good.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
Just because, like, Sticker Star and stuff like that were not the best that series has ever been. So it was nice to see that
That's true.
being as good as it is. Man, I got to get back to that, though, and finish it up.
You do.
I absolutely do.
I think Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is a pretty big surprise that they're doing that as a Muso game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't have an answer for either of these. I mean, nothing I've played this year was like so much better than I expected it to be, or so much worse than I expected it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compared to other things that are going on in 2020.
I guess, you know what? Can I say Mr. Driller Drill Land coming out?
Being a surprise.
That was a big surprise. I
Sure.
certainly,
Did not expect that.
what? How long is that? 18 years or something? Is that how old that game is?
Yep.
I did not expect after like 18 years to suddenly be able to play Mr. Driller Drill Land in English.
Yeah.
So that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Okay.
Just saying.
Hacker
pretty good.
alias J Vegas 702 says,
Uh-huh.
do you think it's possible Spider-Man, Demon Souls, Ratchet and Clank all get pushed to early 2021 or even first quarter of the business year and miss day and date release of the PS5 console? Could
Absolutely.
this be why Sony is so quiet and not providing much info on launch?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the
No.
reason why. I think it's absolutely possible that could happen, especially because of obviously the pandemic
Sure.
Right.
has thrown a lot of things into disarray. But I don't think that's why they've been so quiet. I don't understand.
No.
I don't have a good reason as to why they've been so quiet. I haven't understood this whole weird game of chicken that Sony and Microsoft were playing with release
Right.
dates and pricing. I mean, as far as the release dates of games go, absolutely, I understand them being coy about that because they always are.
Sure.
But the systems and the prices, I don't get why they were doing what they were doing. But I don't think that was the
I don't
reason.
either. I don't either. Although part of it may be that announcing the price and date would go well with being sure which first party games were going to come out alongside the system. Do you think Spider-Man, Demon Souls, and Ratchet and Clank are all going to make launch day? No, it probably wouldn't have been that way even if 2020 wasn't a pandemic year, right? Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, out of this list, probably Spider-Man is the more likely one to make it on launch day, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, since the engine already exists, and
Right.
it's not like they're building that one from scratch.
Right. I mean, you could say the same thing about Ratchet and Clank, but I think Ratchet and Clank, the fact that they've said
Yeah.
launch window on that means it won't be day and date. But
Right.
maybe. I don't know.
Excuse me.
I mean, I think since Halo is not coming out this year, it's maybe less important for PS5 to have multiple first-party exclusives on launch. But I think we'll find out more about that on Wednesday.
I don't know though. I think it opens the door really wide for them to have an amazing launch with, if they do have some flagship games right away. They don't have to compete against Halo. I don't know if Halo's the moneymaker it once was, but I don't know if that's me confusing my disinterest with its actual value,
Right. I wonder if we'll ever find out why they played this game of chicken. Will we ever see a somebody interview these execs and say like, what was really happening with this? Like, why wait so long? Yeah. Anyway, let's do this one from Hacker Alias. I finally watched, who says favorite video game collectible that is not playable, i.e., statue, art, etc.
I have a Sonic 15th anniversary statue that our good friend Ethan Einhorn sent to me while he worked at Sega. That's pretty cool.
I think I have one of those as
I think
well.
I have one of those
as a
too.
marble base, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have that as well.
Yeah, that's
a nice
right.
one.
I think mine is currently in storage.
I also have, I think my biggest, probably the thing that I like the most, and I really need to put it in some kind of display case, is I have a helmet that was signed by the entire roster of drivers for the IndyCar season in 2003 or 4.
Oh, yeah?
And that was part of a Codemasters press junket that I went on down in Phoenix, where we got to play the game, and there was a tournament, and I ended up winning the tournament, and that was the prize, was this helmet that was signed by every driver on the circuit, which includes I believe Danica Patrick, her signature's on there, and Dan Weldon, who I actually got to meet. That was his rookie year. Dan Weldon, of course, was killed a few years ago in an IndyCar race. But he's super, super nice guy. But I got to sit, and we had like dinner with some of the drivers, and I actually got to sit at a table and have this like really long chat with Dan Weldon, who was just a kid then.
Yeah.
And he was all excited about going to his first Indy 500. So it's just kind of cool that I have that piece of memorabilia, not only because as a racing fan, it's cool to have something like that, but that I have the memories that are attached to it as well.
Right.
Some of those drivers who I ended up watching for years afterwards. So I think that's probably it's sort of tangentially gaming related because that's how I got it.
Right.
That's probably my favorite non-gaming thing.
I have this here. This is I don't know if this shows up well on the YouTube feed, but this is a little paperweight thing. It's one of those little kind of engraved crystal things.
Right.
Of the Vic Viper. Konami sent these out to press back in the day to promote Gradius 5 for the PS2. So I've been carrying this around for all that time.
Yeah.
Oh, does that
my Ridge Racer 5?
Oh, it's a Ridge Racer. Wow.
Very nice.
Gradius 5.
Yeah.
Ridge Racer 5.
Huh.
So apparently the 5th game anniversary is the laser etched crystal anniversary.
Yep. And same thing. Cool. I've been carrying that around since 2001.
Yeah.
When that came out.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you know what else I have is this was from I have this from back in the day when I was working at Babbage's. I have a giant fiber optic Nintendo 64 sign.
Oh, cool.
It is just cool. A big I can't even estimate how big it is, but it's pretty large. Sign. It just has the N64 logo, and it's got all these fiber optics inside. So when you plug it in, it has these just gorgeous looking light show. And I actually, you know what I'll have to do is I have a YouTube video that I posted years ago of it in action. So I will give you a link, CJ, so you can post it if anyone wants to see. Please do. If anyone wants to see my fiber optic sign.
I mean, I don't think anything will ever outdo the Monitor statue that I have.
That's pretty great.
That is
pretty awesome.
Oh, it was some kind of Game of the Year award given to Konami for Contra Hardcore on the Genesis. And a Konami employee took that home with them when they moved their operations from the suburbs of Chicago to the West Coast, and he was selling it on Yahoo Auctions.
Oh, okay.
And I knew who it was from the username.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with him, and it didn't end up selling.
That's
Hilariously
Really? That's
enough.
wild.
And I was like, I'll take that off your hands. What do you want for it? And he's like, well, and I was going to Tokyo Game Show at the time, and this was right around the time the Game Boy Advance came out. So he wanted me to get him a copy of what was the Game Boy Advance?
Circle of the Moon. Yeah.
Circle of the Moon. He said, I'll trade you for a copy of Circle of the Moon. So I bought Circle of the Moon while I was in Japan.
That's a pretty good price.
Traded him
Absolutely.
Circle of the Moon for the Contra Hardcore Monitor statue. And being a huge fan of early 90s video game magazines as I am, and then I ended up working on one, I enjoyed having that bit of game fan memorabilia.
That's pretty
You
great.
still have that?
I still have it, yes.
I would hope he still has it.
I still
Jeez.
have it, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm trying to think art I have. I do have some video game art. I have a couple pieces of Steve Purcell art, the guy who created Sam and Max.
Mhm.
I have a print of Sam and Max Surfing the Highway that's signed by him. I have a piece of his the Telltale Monkey Island game that came out. Was it just Tales of Monkey Island?
Something like that.
Yeah, he did a piece of artwork for that I got a print of that is signed. And then at was it the Portland? What's the Portland Retro? Is it just the Portland Retro Game Show?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was there a couple of years ago, and gosh, I forget the guy's name, Mark something or other. He is a video game artist. He's done a ton of old, like 8-bit video game box art. But he did the American Mega Man 2 box art.
Oh, right.
Yes, and he was at the show. He had a big booth set up where he was selling big prints of his artwork, and I picked up a copy of the Mega Man 2 art that he signed.
Mark Erickson.
Yeah, I'm because I have it right here, and I'm trying to read his last name, but it's Mark Erickson. But yeah, so I have that as well.
Cool.
Which is pretty great.
Oh.
So
I think we should probably end the show here.
Yeah.
That's not podcasting for one day, right? Almost 2 hours here.
Sure.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at playeronepodcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You will also find Generation 16 episodes as they happen. Greg is working on another one, I'm sure.
Working on another of both.
There you go.
You'll
find show notes
coming soon.
Show notes and links to all the things we talked about, and you will find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can just start visiting playeronepodcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening application. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of years worth of our shows, or indeed watch us broadcast live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. Follow our Twitter account @P1 podcast to find out when we are doing our next live show. Usually, my friends, it is on Sundays at 5:30 specific time.
Yeah.
So join us, won't you? If you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Maybe if we buy Greg enough microphones, one of them will start working.
Probably not.
There's no harm in trying, though, I suppose.
True.
I mean, aside from the wasted money, but
Yeah.
you know, can't make money without spending money, I always say. Hey, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you will find Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And yes,
Yes.
the script for the next episode is about half done.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
In the meantime, everyone can go check out that Fatal Labyrinth episode that we discussed earlier in the show.
We should put that in the show notes. CJ.
Yes, CJ.
Sure. Of course.
My Nintendo 64 fiber optic sign, by the way, is 25 inches long
Whoa.
by 13 inches tall
Whoa.
by 6 inches deep, which is just the way I like it.
Okay.
I sent you the YouTube link so you
we
can
saw.
show.
I see it.
show
Yeah.
it's you can
I see it.
watch it. It's neat. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Good. Gregory,
Yo.
thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. And of course, thank you to all of our wonderful, wonderful listeners. If you are on the West Coast, oh my goodness, just try not breathing for a few days. See if that works out for you. But stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends, your loved ones. Wear a mask.
Move to the East Coast of Canada.
Move to the East Coast
Or
of
that.
Canada.
Yeah, why not?
We have donairs.
Greg's got a couch
Yes.
that folds out, and
right
he's
there.
very accommodating to strangers. As long as you
The
bring
stranger,
donairs.
the better.
There it is. Does that couch actually fold out?
God, no. Couch is terrible. I've hated that thing since I bought it.
Oh man. Well, if you want to crash on Greg's terrible couch, head on over there. Canada's a calling, friends. We will see you next week. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Patreon. The Patreon after show. If you are a $5 Patreon patron, you gain access to the after show every week, where we
That's right.
play games, we crack wise, we do all that, blah 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 blah. CJ's posting old after shows from a couple years ago on Thursday nights. Check it out. But please, if you were in a situation where you can check out the next live show coming up right after this. We are recording it right after this. What are we doing this week, CJ?
Well, we have an apology NintendoWare game for
What?
Greg, because you'll remember Zach Miller.
Yeah.
He had a question that Greg should have gotten right, but then got wrong, and
Oh.
now he has sent an apology game.
Oh my.
So we are gonna be quizzing Greg Stewart. on
it's
Nintendo
just
stuff.
Greg's the one in the
Greg.
hot seat.
Just
Excellent.
Greg. Greg's in the hot seat.
Oh, good. I can take a break.
Well, then let's end the show so we can start that now, because
Yeah.
it's midnight here.
Okay. We'll see y'all next week, friends.
Bye bye.
Bye bye
Bye.
bye.